Hi, everybody. It's Alex Jarett with my new good friend, Amar Lingam from Augmented AI. Hi, Amar. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's so great to see you. And before we get started on your background, real shout out, Hook 'em Horns, a fellow UT Austin grad. So, Amar, let me tell a little about your background real quick, and then you can fill in the gaps. You're a veteran technology executive, actually internal, and now you have your company, Augmented AI. It's very impressive. Over 3 decades of leading massive data analytics and AI transformations at global scale. And just to be clear, so everybody knows what we're really talking about, you were Chief Analytics and AI Officer at CDW. You led the IT Chief Data Office at CA Technologies. These are huge jobs, so congrats on your career to date. And you've now lead this company called Augmented AI. Did I get that right?
Yes, that's right. Glad to be here.
You have such a deep background. Maybe share some of your experience with that, maybe an insight you want to share, and then we'll move into augmented AI. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. And first of all, thank you so much for having me here. Let me touch upon the some of the experiences that I have seen as an exec in the CDO and also the Chief AI Analytics Officer roles. And these are, as you said, huge roles, huge responsibilities.
Yeah,
Right now, everybody talks about AI and the chat GPT revolution has kicked it up for everybody. But even before that, we in the data analytics and AI and the technology world have been seeing and playing around with data. And the key thing is not about how much data the companies have, but how much of insights and operational activities that you can take based on those insights from the data, right? The
that's
business
interesting.
decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's the key is be a business person first before you are a technologist, even though you are a core technologist at heart. And that's the biggest learning for me. And that's what is actually also a catalyst to augmented AI.
that's really interesting. Can you share maybe a story? Realize, hey, this is really, and you really need to focus on?
Yeah, so I have been leading multiple large digital transformation programs, which across pretty much every aspect of the business of an enterprise.
Yeah,
These are Fortune 500 companies, big companies.
yeah, they're huge.
So there is sales, there is pre-sales, there is marketing, there is professional services, there is partners, there is supply chain. There's a lot going on in each line of business.
You think? Yeah.
And I was the common conduit talking to across the lines of business and trying to understand what challenges they're trying to solve. How are they gonna efficiently manage their business? How do they want to grow the business and all of it? But what I have seen most importantly is everybody is trying to do the best thing for their particular BU or the organization. But if you
Uh-huh.
look at holistically from an enterprise perspective, I think that vision and getting them together on that same lens was missing. And that's the biggest thing. Okay, you're buying millions of dollars of software,
Interesting.
trying to implement the systems, but at the end of it, are you actually looking at the results first approach, right? What is it we're gonna do with all of these suites of software, right? And what insights, what decisions is it gonna drive? And I think that's a key catalyst
Oh,
for me is looking at an inside out perspective and both an outside in perspective as well, right? Technology is moving so fast.
yeah, that's great. That's such a deep insight. And I hear it in different ways from other chief technology leaders. And what they say is lead with the business issue first. And you're saying the same thing. But what's interesting about your perspective is you have a grasp of these really large organizations and the enterprise architecture or ecosystem of all the different major operating environments, all the major
Yeah,
systems, really. And so you're in a catbird seat to really understand
yeah,
how the company operates. It's no surprise a lot of y'all become COOs,
yeah,
and some people become CEOs. So that's really interesting. So how does that lead to augmented AI now? And
yeah.
tell us about that journey, your journey to found this company, what you all do, and how you started.
Yeah, after wearing multiple hats, being the CDO, CTO, and the chief AI officer,
Yeah.
you've worked with the enterprise execs and you know how they think, and
Yeah.
what they really need. But if you look at the outside ecosystem, what's missing, even when I was in those roles, I was looking for partners who would come as a strategic partner and
Yeah.
help shape my vision, take my vision forward. And I think that was the gap that I observed in many of these roles from looking at it from a customer's perspective.
So that's really interesting because we know there's strategy companies that don't implement. And you actually implement also, and you have this unique perspective of being in their seat.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what I talk about the technologist perspective. So I had been in those roles. I created and led the large digital transformation and technology strategies, data
Yeah.
analytics and AI strategies. And now I could actually get more flexibility to help a larger base of customers in different industry verticals. And that's what augmented AI is all about.
That's super cool. So you provide experience strategy, I'll say it that way, and you actually help them get it done.
Yep.
So that makes you unique in two ways. And then you also have products too. I think you have a product called Asset IQ, correct? So you
Yep.
do both, right? So let's talk a little more about that product and then maybe we'll share some stories of both scenarios. So tell us what Asset IQ, what's the story of invention? How did you create it? What problem does it solve? What is it that you
Yeah.
do with Asset IQ?
Yeah, so this came about as a challenge, and it's a common challenge in the industry as
Yeah,
well. But in
yeah,
this particular use case, it came from a retail customer who had large volumes of media asset data. It could be pictures, it could be videos, it could be a lot of marketing collateral that they created, petabytes of data. It's just archived. It's somewhere in a media library.
yeah.
And they were running into a challenge when they tried to create a marketing campaign for using some of the old archives. Hey, for this particular line of product, I use this particular athlete, and I want to recreate that ad, creating a nostalgia through ads. And you know how ads can be so creative. So the challenge was, hey, where is that footage? And which year was it? Who was the athlete? And where is it stored? What metadata exists? How do you get any insights out of it? So it's digging through these volumes of records that were stored over the years, and there was no way of finding it. So this product, we came out of that necessity, and it's that invention is it clearly looks through all of the different types of media assets and makes sense out of it. Creates metadata, creates the search, enterprise search layer on top of it, where any persona can go and search for different types of insights. They show me the ads that were run with these types of sports or this type of weather condition or this particular line of product or this particular celebrity. So it's easy to get those insights. And now it could be used in sales, it could be used in marketing, it could be used
Wow.
enterprise wide as a commodity.
And that's called Asset IQ. And so I know these large companies have, I don't know what the number is, tens of thousands, if not 100,000 or even millions of
Yep.
assets like this.
Yep.
And the ability to index them through AI, but index them in a way that you can talk to the AI and say, I need this.
Yep. Yeah. And
That's
yeah.
pretty
And
amazing, actually.
yeah. That is, and it is incredible what it can do. It started with the media and entertainment industry use case. It could
Yeah,
eventually, it actually already expanded into a healthcare use case, to
I
a
can see that.
retail use case. So
Yeah.
it could span across industry verticals. The
Well,
concept is the same. The use case is similar. The
yeah,
outcome is depending on the insights that are needed for that industry.
I totally could see how it applies to multiple industries. Let's do this. Let me have you share an example of how you helped one of your clients with a strategy and implementation project, and then we'll have a use case or two for this product, Asset IQ.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So tell us an example of the strategy project. Tell us what kind of company it was and what their problem was, and then maybe define the process that you took them through. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, so in this case, one of the customers was a utility customer.
Right.
The challenge was, hey, they created a new strategy on making more operational gains in terms of creating efficiencies from the maintenance that they have along their lines of utilities. It could be
Yeah.
power, it could be water, it could be any of those utilities that they are managing. The problem was they don't have good insights on what's happening on the field. Why are a lot of maintenance issues creeping up? and what sort of data is coming from the field and how to make sense out of it. So all in all, it was a very labor intensive, it was inefficient, it was very high touch process that they were trying to automate.
And so they came to you for not only the strategy,
Mhm.
but also once you came up with the strategy to create a road, I assume a roadmap and then to implement it. Is that right?
Yes. So it's end to end. Start with the strategy first. Hey, why are we doing this? What are we going to get out of it? What business problems it's going to solve for me that I'm already currently facing? And how would it help me in the future?
That's great. So
Yeah,
why don't you tell us what you did, and then we'll, at the end, we'll summarize sort of the results.
that sounds good. So a lot of customers are at different stages of implementation of the technology and AI.
Yeah,
And the key CTO came to me and said, hey, I want to get started, us started on a journey with AI, but don't exactly know where to start.
yeah,
And I don't have all the skills that are needed in-house. And there are a lot of execs that I have to convince and get a buy-in from. So how do you
yeah,
help me to take this strategy off the ground? So go in there, look at the business landscape, look at the goals, the enterprise goals that are set by the CEO and the exec teams, and see how they are trying to accomplish those. And then are there opportunities for technology to actually accelerate it or to be more efficient or to reach there better? And that's the strategy line that we started with.
got
And
it.
then and then I did a workshop with the key stakeholders from the exec team, from the IT teams, from the business teams. We did a 2-day workshop and looked at the holistic picture of, hey, what's happening in the industry, what's happening in the company, how are we navigating through the technology change? What type of skills do we have? What are the use cases that you're going after? And then actually do whiteboarding with the different business challenges and then do prioritization of, hey, which ones do we tackle first? And
Uh-huh.
then bring the technology approach to create a roadmap. Are we going to use agentic AI? Are we going to use
Yeah,
Gen BI and things like that? And create that strategy. Once you create that strategy, it becomes a business case, goes to the steering course and say, hey, this is what we want to do, this is why we want to do it, and this is what we get out of it. So, being that strategic partner, walking them through that strategy, creating the strategy with them in conjunction with them, not in silos, that's the biggest thing that helped that customer get off of that roadmap. And once the roadmap came in, we did quick wins, some MVPs, showcasing POCs, and then move fast, start showing the wins and a milestone based approach and get the strategy implemented. You could also do managed ops after that, depending on their requirements, but it's like the end to end cycle, all the way from creating the strategy to implementing it and to managing it.
wow. It sounds like you really did take them from strategy to the roadmap and actually help them. Real quickly, what were the results of this really big project that you shepherded them through?
Yeah, so it definitely, first of all, provided a clear view of all the data that's flowing through from the field, from the utilities, and all the way till their control center, which is the command center. That's the first thing,
Yeah,
visibility. Second thing is insights, clear insights on, hey, what's happening with each line of utility, what's the efficiency gains that they had by creating these insights, and preventive maintenance so that it avoids a lot of the costly fixes that they have to make in case something happens. So using the AI, Gen AI, agentic AI, computer vision, drone-based technologies, they were able to leverage a lot of business benefits with respect to running their business very efficiently and making operational decisions based on these insights. Business results, operational efficiency gains, they had upwards of 50% of the operational
wow.
efficiencies, especially in terms of the preventive maintenance and the machinery that is coming up for repairs or replenishment. And they were also able to use the field staff more efficiently in terms of the scheduling, the different inspections that they had to do. That actually was more streamlined to almost reducing the 20-25% of scheduling inefficiencies that they had. And the overall business case itself, they were able to recover not only the cost of the business case, but also gained strategic efficiencies in terms of millions of dollars, which would
Wow.
actually go back to reinvestment in strategic initiatives like this.
It sounds like a very successful project. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, let's move into one or two quick stories about this product that you have that you call Asset IQ. As we just spoke about, it is able to take literally hundreds, thousands, if not millions, of digital assets, photographs, videos, et cetera, index them from an AI standpoint, track them, and then be able to make them usable. Did I get that kind of right? Did I
Yep.
get that right?
Yep. Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. Tell
And
us a story. Tell us a
yeah,
story or two. Go ahead.
yeah, there are media asset management, data and
Yeah.
digital asset management solutions out there.
Yeah.
But what they lack is this clear way of generating the insights using the media assets that they are managing. So it mostly looks like an archive, but the intelligence layer that we were able to add on this eventually ended up with solving a lot of use cases for marketing, digital marketing. For example, this company in retail space wanted to create a targeted marketing campaign
Yeah.
for a particular segment of audience. And they were able to do that by looking at all the insights that were generated from this
Yeah.
asset IQ, looking at the ads that mostly resonated with that segment. And they were able to do that because we are able to give those insights through this product on, hey, which segments did many of these ads ran for and which resonated more, and take
Oh,
the theme from them and recreate a new campaign, targeted campaign for those. So
that's really insightful. So they were able to analyze the results. They were able to come back and say, hey, how many times have we used these good
mhm.
assets? I'll call them good assets, but
Yep.
high ROI assets.
Yep.
And they were able to, because I, as a obviously running a publishing company here, a media company that we are, I get
Yep.
the value of that. Some of the assets work better than others, and you want to know what the high performing assets are, but you don't want to overuse them. You
Right.
know, that
Yeah.
yeah. So you were able to help them, which they probably did have hundreds of thousands of assets. You were able to help them with that problem.
Yes, exactly. Exactly that. And they were so thrilled with those results and catapulted into multiple other use cases, which is a different good story. See, that's the power of innovation, right? It opens doors for many other opportunities.
That's phenomenal. I'm glad you started off. There are obviously media asset systems out there, but this adds that layer of intelligence, that intelligence layer that really makes your tool, which again, coming from your background, it's real, folks.
Mhm.
It makes your tool actually work and add real value, that value that would take, I don't know, hundreds, if not thousands of people hours, right?
Yeah.
And not even they can't even get it all done. So what real quick, we're about to run out of time. Do you have another quick story as far as the asset IQ that you wanted to share?
Yeah, and then this other example is for a healthcare use case.
Yeah,
And again, healthcare has all the different types of imaging that you could imagine, X-rays, CT scans, MRIs, a lot of images that are out there. And we looked at a particular use case where they were trying to figure out the level of intensity for a particular disease that they were trying to identify it, and it spans across the radiologists and the doctors. And this product actually gives that sort of insight to analyze all those images and provide the not only the analysis and the snapshot of what is happening with those images in the images, but it also gives out recommendations. Say for this type of condition, these are the types of tests that are recommended, or these are the types of diagnosis that you have to do, and it provides those recommendations both to the radiologists and the doctors. Their time is so precious. You go to a doctor visit and you see how much time you get, and they have to be very efficient in that time. And this product, through the analysis of those types of images, makes it more efficient so that it not only provides the accurate analysis, but it also helps them accelerate their conversations, their decisions with their patients.
So is it analyzing all of their records or records that they have compared to other patients?
Yeah, it's basically there are industry benchmarks that are out there. It compares their records to the industry benchmark records. all within the HIPAA and other regulatory guidelines.
So, wow. So this is for a large healthcare system, and you're able to take these digital results like X-rays, things like that,
Mhm.
MRIs, and you're able to categorize them like you shared before, but also help them compare to other scenarios. So compare this
Yeah,
to somebody that didn't have something horrible, or compare this to somebody that had early stage or something. Is that what you're saying?
yes, it's comparing to the benchmarks of that particular condition and see how chronic or not chronic disease
Huge.
particular patient.
Oh, the medical benchmarks.
Yep,
It's 0.001%, nothing to worry about now, but you know,
exactly.
but be careful with the sun or something. I'm just making that up. But oh, we got to take a deeper look. And how accurate is it?
It is like any AI model, not just healthcare. You look
Yeah,
at it, it starts with a percentage of accuracy. It starts 60, 70% during
yeah,
your training
yeah.
ranges, and it goes all the way to about 90%. So we were able to get it to a pretty high accurate level for the particular conditions that we looked at.
That's pretty amazing. And that's an insight that I've heard from other folks that if it's your data, the AI does get smarter, right? And
Yep,
the drift is a little can be reduced. But
yep.
you still have to, I assume you still have to have a human in the loop.
They are the final decision makers, right? AI
Yeah,
is only augmenting with the intelligence, but ultimately the decisions
yeah,
are with the healthcare professionals.
that's great. So this has been an amazing discussion. I could talk to you for hours. There's so much I'm sure we can
Likewise.
brain. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. And so hopefully we'll be able to have you on again. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, it's Amar Lingam, Lingam. You're on LinkedIn. I can
Mhm.
connect you.
Yeah.
And there's two areas that you're working. So
Yeah.
first is if you've got an AI data related project and you want not only strategy, but the roadmap and help with the execution. You were chief analytics and AI officer at CDW. You were the chief data officer at CA. So you know what you're doing. And if you want that level of strategic and operational console and support, then clearly Amar's someone you should talk to, right? So just reach out to you. And
Yeah.
then the other thing is if you've got these digital assets, media assets, and you want that extra intelligence later to actually help solve that problem of what to do with all these media assets and use them more intelligently, then you'd be the person to start with at your organization. I assume. Just give you a call, right?
Yep.
Or
Absolutely.
reach out on LinkedIn. All right, great interview. Hook 'em horns. Great to see you. And hopefully this next year will go all the way. And thank you for being on this great spotlight interview today, Amar.
Thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all my peer data and analytics, AI, and technology professionals out there. Talk to you soon.